Bloody Mary
Welcome to the Bloody Married podcast, where we talk about all things horror while drinking a Bloody Mary. I am Jesse.
And I am Tami. And we are totally married.
Yeah.
Tonight, we got our Bloody Marys, and we are ranking the best and worst horror films of 2023.
Yes, this is like one of my favorite things to do the year with the
too.
podcast. I love the yearly wrap up. But before we get into that, we have merch.
We do.
And we have an Amazon wish list. We have a whole bunch of stuff there. If you feel like supporting the podcast, go check out our Amazon wish list, www.bloodymarypodcast.com. There's things you can get there, equipment that we need. There's smaller things. And speaking of, shout out to Sandy, your mom.
Thanks, Mom.
She helped out the podcast and got us a
microphone arm.
mic arm. We can't use it quite yet. We need another one for two of us, and probably another table to secure them on. So slowly but surely, we're getting there.
Slowly but surely, we are going to get
But yes, thank you very much.
a better setup.
Thank you very much, Sandy.
Yes, thanks,
and if whoever else wants to support us, we'll give you a shout out as well.
Yes.
And we're going to do something new this episode.
Yeah,
and
we
new
are.
to kick off the new year. We are doing a giveaway. We have some stuff to give away. I got a Night of the Witch t-shirt, some buttons, some magnets, some little postcard mini posters. And you have, what do you have in there?
I have some art prints that are prints
Excuse
of
me.
mine to also put in this swag bag.
Art prints.
Yeah.
So we're doing a giveaway, and we're going to see how many people are watching or listening to the podcast. So how this is going to work is, if you're listening, go to the YouTube video, because this is where it is. And I want you to comment below the video and tell us what your favorite movie of 2023 was, horror movie of 2023, what your least favorite was, or both. And the thing is we need at least 10 different people to comment on this YouTube video for this giveaway to activate within 24 hours of this video coming out, to see how many people are actually watching.
Come on, guys. Come on,
Yep.
you can do it.
So comment down below
need 10.
your favorite or least favorite horror film of the year. We need 10 different people to do it. Contest will be activated at random. We'll pick one of you, and you'll get this mailed out to you, as long as you live in the States. I'm not going to ship this to Alaska or Hawaii either. So just in the in the land. So that's cool. Yeah, if you want this, go for it. And good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into it.
Yes.
2023 was an interesting year for horror, because
It was.
last year I was looking forward to this year, thinking certain films were going to make the top for me, and certain films were going to make the bottom. And shit got changed up. And one film especially that I thought was going to be like fighting for my number one spot is not even on
Our top
our
five.
top list.
Yeah.
And then there was some cool surprises here and there. I think a lot came out this year. There was quite a bit, and I think this is probably the most most horror movies I've watched doing this podcast in the last 4 years. This year I've watched a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I think this year was a little different too, because our schedules have been off. So we had to watch at least, I don't know, close to half of these separately.
We did, yeah.
We watch, the ones we could together, the ones we could in the theater, and then
Right.
we, our like last few months crunch time, it was like, you go watch this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
What'd you think of 2023 in horror?
I thought it
in
was
general?
quite an interesting year. You're right. And we did get a lot more than it was nice to see quite a bit in the theaters,
Yeah.
and some definitely interesting ones that I'm never gonna watch again. But and then there was some I was like, oh, I'm so excited, but they were okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So, and a lot came out this year.
There was, yeah.
I'm excited to see what next year has to offer.
I know. Yeah. 2024 is going to be very interesting. But anyways, let's get into it. We're going to start with our 5 best films of 2023.
Yes. And let's preface this by saying I didn't see all of them. And like, I missed some that you had watched. So, but these are the ones that we watched.
What do you mean?
Well, sometimes there's like ones we didn't see. That
Oh, I thought you meant for the top ones. We've both seen these.
Yes. Yeah. Of course.
Okay. That's what we're getting into.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So our number 5 best film of 2023 is The Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman.
Yes. Directed by Rob Savage.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think?
I thought this was really good for what it was. It was kind of those horror films where it's one or two locations and there's an entity after a family.
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen those movies many, many times. And I think this movie did it like the best way you could do a movie like that, with like, the type of cast you have and the story you're doing. I thought it was really well done in that respect, for sure.
I agree. I really liked the use of lighting and things that they did, because it feeds off the dark, and the little girl had her little globe, and just the Christmas lights, and it wasn't overhead lights, it was just little lights and plug-in lights, and
that was really cool.
I was really cool, and it was really creepy. I thought it was really creepy for the type of movie that it was, and going after families that suffered trauma too just makes it a little bit more creepy. And I thought that the bond between the sisters was really nice. I really enjoyed that chemistry. We're the whole family in general. So yeah, I really enjoyed that movie.
Also, we're gonna try to be spoiler free,
right,
for sure for these, so we won't try to spoil too much, and if we do, we'll try and say but we'll try to be as spoiler free as we can for these. I agree with all that. I think kind of like what's after them, the reveal of what this entity is really cool. Like you said, the use of lighting was really awesome. I love the third act. I think that this movie goes to the point of like, there's 2 daughters and there's a father. And the mother has passed away, so they're all in mourning, and it was like a year ago or something. But you get to like the point in the film where like, okay, if the dad doesn't believe what's going on now, then this movie's really gonna lose me.
Right.
And it was right at that moment where he did.
Yeah.
So they did that balance really well, and then kind of like, to not spoil really much of anything, they come together really well as a family unit.
They do, yes.
To overcome something, and I really enjoyed the ending, and I just love how the third act and kind of the final moments played out.
I agree.
It was the best way it could have for me.
I agree.
Yeah.
And for that type of movie that they did, we haven't seen one that, at least for me, that I enjoyed like that.
Yeah. Usually those kind of movies in the third act, they drop the ball.
Yeah. And this one, it really did balance out real nice. So
I was surprised that a lot people didn't like this one as much. This is kind of the ones that got pretty average reviews. I think it was in theaters very briefly. In another time, 10 years ago, this probably would have done a lot better.
Yeah.
And I like the actor who plays the father. I watched him. He had a really fun role in Ben Affleck's Air, about the Air Jordans.
Oh, right.
He plays this really, really funny character. So, and I'm sure I've seen him in other things, but these are the 2 things I saw him in this year. And I'd like to see him do more. Yeah, this kind of stuff. But
do more horror.
Cool. Number 5, The Boogeyman.
All right. Number 4, surprising to me.
And me.
You.
For sure.
Is Saw 10.
Saw 10.
Directed by, if I butcher your name, I'm so sorry, Kevin Greutert?
Yeah. Kevin.
Kevin. Way to go, Kevin.
Way to go, Kev. So Saw 10 went in with like the lowest expectations, because overall, for the most part, since like Saw 1, they've all just been lame.
Agree. You know how I feel. If you listen to this podcast, you know how I feel about the Saw
We're not the biggest fans of the Saw franchise. And this one was really, really good. This is like arguably could be my favorite Saw film. I got to think about it more, but Saw 1 and this one are definitely the best ones for sure. They Saw 10, without spoiling anything, it focuses on John Kramer. It humanizes him. The movie is about him. It gives him screen time. After 10 movies, he finally gets character development.
Right.
And I didn't know this too. I thought he was like 60, but motherfucking Tobin Bell's 80.
Right.
And he's doing this stuff. So I thought that was really, really commendable. It was a really good movie.
I agree. As you know, I was like, I'm never fucking seeing another Saw goddamn movie again. And then you're like, it's in the theaters. We have to go. And I'm like, oh, fuck me. God damn it. Fine. And then I was like, I liked it.
Yeah.
I was, like you said, you get a different side of John Kramer.
Yeah.
I enjoyed all the traps that he set. There was one that he was involved in that was really cool.
Yeah, I was like, that was my favorite one.
And really, if I just had Saw 1, which I still think is an amazing horror movie with one of the best twists ever.
In horror cinema.
And then this one, and then I forget all the rest of them exist. So,
yeah.
And I think of the Saw series from now on, it'll just be Saw 1 and Saw 10, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because fuck the rest of them.
The rest is
I
a
don't
fever
give a
dream.
Shit about them. But I really did. I was surprised. And now I'm even more surprised that it's on our top 5.
I know. I was expecting it to make our worst list. But what they do with this one, too, is they give John Kramer a rival.
He has a nemesis.
Like, for sure. And they already, I mean, we have Saw 11 coming next year.
Right.
I assume they're going to continue on the story. It was great traps, good story, humanity to a character, and it gave us more atmosphere. I really like this movie. Considered putting it up higher on this list, but I think you'd probably stab me.
It's already in the top 5.
Yeah.
It's already in the top 5. So
yeah, Saw 10 was great.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
And you know, the experience was also kind of cool too, because I won free tickets.
You did,
and then also I received a free swag package from whatever the production company was. I got like a Saw 10 shirt. I got a keychain. Right. I got some other stuff too in a box. So this was like, oh, this is a cool experience we had.
It was like, okay, well, it's free tickets.
It's free,
so we'll go. And it was surprising.
Yeah.
And here it is, a number 4 in our top 5.
Sin City. They're the ones who I got the free tickets from. Right. And I've had horror films in their horror fest before. I think Night of the Witch won best score at the Sin City Horror Film Festival. So shout out to Sin City. Thank you for the free tickets. Thank you for all the swag. Saw 10, moving on.
All right. Number 3, When Evil Lurks.
Yes.
Directed by Damian Ragun. Again, I'm so sorry.
When Evil Lurks.
That one was really good.
Fresh and original are the two words that I used to describe When Evil Lurks. I thought it was a really fresh take on a pretty tired possession genre. They create their own lore, which is super cool.
It is. It's gross.
It plays out not like a possession film, but more like a zombie outbreak film.
Right.
I think it's really, really good. I think it has some really intense kills. Yeah.
It's gross.
It is gross.
It's gross.
It's gross. I remember I watched it on my own, and then I watched most of it again with you. And like in the beginning, you're like gagging. You're like, oh.
That's so gross.
Yeah. It's a really fun movie. The basic premise is countryside, and evil is sweeping this countryside community, and they have to deal with it. Pretty simple premise, but done really brilliantly, I think.
I agree. The acting was really well done. It was creepy. It was gross. And it was really well done.
Yeah. Acting was superb. I think one of the things that keeps for me personally, keeps it lower on our list and didn't make it to 2 or 1 is rewatch value. Like, this is kind of a one and done. I'll watch it with you.
Right.
And I would love to watch it with someone else who hasn't seen it to see their reaction.
Right.
But I don't see myself throwing it on.
Just throwing it on.
Yeah.
You're not going to be like, well, let's just throw it on in the background.
Yeah.
It's not going to be one of those.
And rewatch value plays a lot into, for me and probably you, picking what our favorite films are.
Yes.
Which probably leads us into number two
Number
has
two?
has rewatch value, definitely.
Considering I just watched it again this week,
Yeah.
then yes. So number 2 is Scream 6.
Scream 6, number 2.
All right, directed by Matt Oplin and Tyler Gillett.
Yeah, they are fantastic directors.
They are. I really enjoy everything that they've done.
So Scream 6, God, this one's had like such the journey for me.
Yes,
like-
you have been through quite a journey with it.
For Scream 6, because saw it in the theater, we did a review, like, oh, it's awesome. Thinking about it, I'm like, well, this is probably the least best Scream, but maybe not. And then I didn't watch it since the theater. And then after all of the news came out that, God, we have to do a podcast with Sean on about Scream 7 shit. Melissa got fired. Jenna Ortega said she's not doing it. The director. So no one knows what's happening with Scream 7. So after that news, that's the second time I watched it.
Right.
And it felt different watching Scream 6. It felt like bittersweet. And it also felt like if this is the end of their journey, it's okay.
Right. Yeah.
Like how they ended it. This one is super entertaining. I just have one like major thing, and it's just for me that before the movie came out, I predicted who the killer was going to be and predicted his motive. And that sucks because for me, the fun part of the Scream movies is the big killer reveal that you don't know.
Who done it. Yeah.
But aside from that, this movie is just really good.
It is. There's a ton of fun kills.
Yeah.
You get an opening that we've never seen in a Scream film before.
Yep.
Which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And then you get the nostalgia because they bring in, they're pulling from every single movie.
They are
in the series.
Yeah,
every single one.
Especially there's, not spoiling too much, but there's like a room that has lots of items from all of the other films in it.
All of the other killings.
Oh yeah, all of the other killings. Yeah,
all of that, and then it's just it's fun.
It is
fucking fun, and Melissa does so much. Like I enjoyed her so much more in this one than I did. I mean, not to say because Scream 5 was amazing. I love Scream 5, but she was definitely a little dulled down. Yeah, and maybe that was on purpose because she was on meds. But whatever the case may be, I really enjoyed her acting more in this one.
Yeah.
Than I did in the last one. So
it's probably too like you've done a movie. Oh, you know the character now. Now you know what the character is. Yeah, I agree. I think all of the cast members that were in the first one probably do better in this one.
Yeah.
And like the core four, the four, their relationship is just so much fun, and you're connected to these characters. You're connected to them all, which kind of sucks that they might not be doing a Scream 7.
I know. But maybe there's down the road, Scream 10, they all pop back up again,
Yeah.
Like
or Scream in Space.
Scream in Space.
Yeah,
Who
you
knows?
never know.
You never know. Yeah.
Yeah, but and I think it has probably some of the best action of the series and some of the best kills of the series.
Oh yeah.
It's just the killer is so, for me, predictable, but it's still like, even if it's like my least favorite Scream film, a least favorite Scream film for me is still a really fun movie.
Right.
And it's still really good. Yeah, so this was one that it didn't make my list at first, and then it made it to like number 5. I'm like, well, the more I think about it, like I could watch this again right now and have fun with it. Yeah.
Because I've watched it like since we've seen it in the theater probably about 5 more times.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's fun. I really enjoy it, and maybe with all this stuff, the directors from those will come back and make 7.
Oh, maybe we'll just put a pause on it for a while and not do anything with it.
Yeah, take a breather, guys. Anyways, Scream 6 is really entertaining.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good word to use for it. It's a really entertaining slasher horror film.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, are we ready? Our number one
film of the year, horror film.
Our number one film, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Directed by none other than Eli Roth.
Yes, Thanksgiving. Oh, I love this movie.
It was so much fun.
Only seen it once in the theater. I think it's like being released soon on physical media and streaming eventually, but this is like everything I want in a slasher. It's an 80s, 90s slasher. It doesn't take itself too seriously at all.
Nope.
It has fun with it. What you can really see, and I love this about horror films and indie films in general, you can see that they're having fun.
Oh,
you can see that the director, Eli Roth, is having fun making this, and that people are just enjoying the process. You can, and Patrick Dempsey is back.
We get Dempsey.
McDreamy, the return of
Yes.
McDreamy. You can tell he's having fun.
He is.
Like, I would be surprised if like someone said, "Oh, it was horrible making that movie." You know, maybe like a Grip or something. I don't know, but I think it's fun. The movie is a lot of fun. It's a fun slasher. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. We get our McDreamy back. We get him using his real accent, which is for the first time ever. Which is everyone's
didn't
like,
know that.
wait, what?
That's because it's a what is it? A Boston,
It's a northeastern, like New England.
New England accent. Yeah. No, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. It had, I don't know, it had like a really funny moment that I enjoyed, where like this kid in high school is reading something that's supposed to be like sentimental about like people who died, or no, or indigenous people. He's doing like his Thanksgiving presentation.
Yeah.
And then he like fake cries or something. And then he like brings his shirt up and you see him flex his abs and all the girls are like,
Oh my God.
yeah.
You get an A.
I really like it. I like how there was no agenda in the movie. I like how it was just a kind of a really fun, by the books, cookie cutter slasher done Eli Roth style.
Yeah.
Really fun kills. I love the opening and the ending credits. They play Misfits. I ain't no goddamn son of a bitch. Like, the whole movie is just that energy.
It is.
From like start to finish.
And they do something in it where, you know, in this there's a mass killer.
Yeah.
But then partway through the movie, for a moment you get a switch up and you don't see it coming, which I liked. with the clown.
Yeah.
So that was fun, and it was fun. It
Yeah.
was fucking fun.
It was this is one I would watch again and again.
Oh, when it's streaming, I'll be watching it.
And it
again.
did really well. Like, almost immediately they greenlit the second one. Eli Roth popped on social and said that they're going to take the year to write the script to make it really good, and then they're going to shoot it the next year.
Which I like. Instead of being like, oh, we're greenlit. Okay, now we got to bust this out in like a month, and then we got to get production going, and we got to get it out to the next Thanksgiving. You know, like, they're taking their fucking time.
Take a year.
Take your time, because yes, it made money, but like, it's gonna make money when it does come out. And if you take your time, then it's gonna be a good horror movie, as opposed to rushing the fucking thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless you have like already 3 scripts, then you have a trilogy planned and it's already done.
Yeah,
you know?
right. Which I don't think he did. I don't think
so.
I'm sure maybe there was ideas, but from what I understand. And like we did a review on this too. You could check that out. But I've been wanting to see this movie for like well over 10 years. When they did the Grindhouse fake trailers, the 2 movies I wanted to see made were Thanksgiving and Werewolves. What was it called?
Werewolves of the SSS?
Werewolf Zombies, Women of the SS, whatever, by Rob Zombie. So Rob Zombie, come on, make that sucker. So I was really happy to finally see this movie.
Yeah.
And I do think that it's Eli Roth's best film.
Yeah.
I think it's better than Hostel. I think it's better than Cabin Fever. That's what it was called, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Best film of the year.
All right.
If you haven't seen Thanksgiving, go see it.
Yes, definitely. See it, stream it when it comes on, watch it a bunch.
Yep.
Do a back-to-back, Thanksgiving, Scream 6.
Yeah. Well, should we get into the fun stuff?
The worst.
The worst. The shit pile of the year.
Guys.
Yeah.
Guys.
All right. So let's get into this. It's fun.
Okay.
So, worst film of the year. Number 5 is Skinamarink, directed by Kyle Edward Ball. And let me just preface this by saying that this one I actually do respect, that on pretty much no budget with a small crew, they managed to make a film that they probably didn't expect to go anywhere, that they got picked up by Shudder, that they got a little bit of advertising campaign, and they actually got a limited theatrical release. They probably made more money than they ever thought possible with this movie. But aside from that, this movie is not for me. This movie is not for you.
It is not.
If you enjoy looking at walls,
right,
while like
like little kid tension builds, sure, but
the whole movie is like just shots of a house with
from a little
weird
kid's
music.
vantage point.
Like
Which,
you see a corner of a wall, you see a closet door, and like barely anything happens. And to be fair, we watched like
we watched like 15, 20
the first
minutes.
15 minutes, and then we were like, okay, we know what this is. Can we like skip ahead a bit and fast forward? And if we do that, we have to watch like the last 10 minutes all the way through. So we did. We would like skip and we'd pause, watch a few minutes. Like, oh, okay, it's another
still,
wall.
here it is.
Let's skip again. Okay. Oh, we got a door. Let's skip again. Oh, hey, we're back to the wall again.
Here we go.
This is cool.
I do respect that they made something different.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure if I was I'm not sure. I still wouldn't like it, even if it was in the background. It wasn't for me.
No.
It wasn't for you.
No.
That's all I can say about that. Because we were just like this.
No.
Here we are. This is all we're watching. This is what we're seeing.
After we said all that nice stuff, I'm just gonna say this movie sucks. I don't like it. This is like what the movie The Government plays to you when you're like tied to the chair and your eyes are propped open. They play you Skinamarink for like 24 hours straight. Yeah, that's the movie they throw on for fucking sure.
Yeah.
It's an interesting experiment. Yeah, Skinamarink, not for me. And it's crazy that this movie, I've seen it make top horror lists of the year, and I think fucking Variety put it at the best horror film.
I know, we're like, what the fuck?
I'm like, okay. No, you just don't like, whoever wrote this does not like horror films. For sure. All right, let's move on. Let's move on from Skinamarink. Our fourth worst film of the year is Children of the Corn, the remake, directed by Kurt Wimmer.
Fucking boring.
I just...
No, the kids weren't creepy.
Yeah.
The main girl, she's not creepy at all. It just fucking boring.
Well, Children of the Corn, it was never one of my favorite movies either, but I've seen it before. I've seen it a couple times. It was fine. It was well done. There's the mystery of what's actually in the corn. And in this one, they show you, and it's a digital fucking enemy that you play in like half fucking video games. It's like a fucking tree stalk man.
Right.
It's so dumb. Like, spoiler, I don't care. I'm spoiling Children of the Corn for you. There's a stupid video game tree man living in the corn that does all this.
That's possessing the children.
Yeah.
They're not creepy though. Like if you're gonna remake Children of the Corn and it's kids are supposed to be creepy, make your kids creepy. Make your main girl creepy.
She was just annoying.
She was fucking annoying, and it was boring.
Yeah, and
boring and annoying.
And like just like suspension of disbelief was too crazy with this. Like the main girl and her brother, like, no, there's stuff going on. Especially the main girl. Leave. Get out.
Just fucking go.
Just get in a car and go get help. No one left to get help.
No, they just buried all the parents in a pit, and
I don't understand. And then there was like why it's affecting certain people and not others. And then in the beginning, they tried to do something where maybe it's like pesticides,
right?
But then they dropped that like right away because I thought that would almost have been an interesting take to where, oh, are they just like hallucinating from pesticides, or are they actually? But they never went further with that at all.
The corn was dying, or
all the adults were stupid and deserved to die. I couldn't connect with any single character. The one thing I have to say though, I do think the actress who played the lead, the good girl,
right?
I'd like to follow her career because I think if she keeps going, she could do some good stuff. Because there was I could see that there were some hints of good acting in her, but she had nothing to work with.
Right.
Yeah. It's stupid. It doesn't need to exist.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's why it's
just
on our
lame.
list.
It's just lame. Don't see it. Yeah. All right.
What's another one you shouldn't see?
Another one you shouldn't see is number 3, which is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Directed by Rise Frake Waterfield. This movie is another one that just doesn't need to exist. It's the Winnie the Pooh became public domain. So what happens? People pick it up. Let's make it a horror film. And the same thing is happening now with the Mickey and the Steamboat.
Old school Mickey Mouse.
Is like the day that it became public domain. Like there's a movie already shot, and then there's another one coming.
It's like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah.
First of all,
Yeah.
and like, the makeup on them and like what?
Oh, their costumes are horrible.
The costumings are horrible.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna make a live action Pooh, like what the fuck is that you
Pooh.
made? Winnie the Pooh.
If you're gonna make a live action Pooh, just pooping in real life, live action.
Piglet, for Christ's sake. I can't even.
Yeah.
And it just like, what is
the whole premise, like the best part of the film was like the opening that's like in animation, where you get to see, well, I'm like, okay, this is actually a cool concept to where Christopher Robin is friends with all these people. He leaves because he
grows up,
leaves his childhood behind, and he leaves all these people behind to fend for himself. Well, they're starving, they're in the woods, so they decide to kill Eeyore and eat him. And because of that,
Eeyore.
they become evil, cannibalistic murderers.
Yeah.
And that's all in like your opening animation. And I thought, okay, well, this is a good start.
Yeah.
And then it gets into the movie, and it's just like the lowest budgeted, like, give me no budget, give me zero budget, like, and I can go and make a better film. If I just rally like my crew I use and just this friends and stuff, we could go and make a better film than this that actually has money.
Yes,
for sure. Uwe Boll could make a better fucking film. I wish he would have taken this. He's made terrible movies before.
It's just like, what the just because it's public domain doesn't mean you have to do it. And then if you are going to take a childhood classic like Winnie the fucking Pooh and then that's what you give us, shut up.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, okay, this could be interesting. No.
It's just like uninspired filmmaking. It has a bizarre, inconsistent tone to it.
We're fucking getting a second one too, by the way.
Well, because they make money
with Tigger.
They make money because of the idea.
Right.
The idea that Winnie the Pooh's killing people.
I know, but like, fuck, why?
Which in that respect, it's smart as a filmmaker or as a production company. But like, all right, let's hop on it. Let's make some money. Let's do this. Let's just churn out.
All right.
Yeah. Anyways, don't see it.
Don't see it. It's a waste.
Coming in at number 2, and this one might be a little controversial because it has some good scores. People do enjoy this film, but we had a different experience altogether. Number 2, worst film of the year, is The Last Voyage of Demeter, directed by Andre Overdahl, however you say his last name, but he's directed some good stuff. He did Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and this is his latest offering. And wife, what do you have to say about The Last Voyage of Demeter?
Fucking goddamn vampire in a boat. This is the most frustrating movie that I have watched this year. I was so frustrated. Oh my God, I was so frustrated.
Yeah.
The whole entire time. Like a girl just pops out of a fucking box and then a killer is on you don't even look in the creepy boxes with the weirdest things, and then you realize that what?
So the movie is it's based on just a segment of Bram Stoker's Dracula of how he gets to wherever he's going. It's like Dracula is on a boat.
Right.
Pirate boat, a voyage transported across from Transylvania to, I don't know where he goes in the book, wherever it is. He goes to
London or something.
I
think they're going to London.
Yeah, he goes to Portland, Oregon, wherever he goes. But it's about his voyage, his journey, and it's so the entire film is so fucking frustrating because the audience knows and the characters know what's going on, yet they're doing nothing about it. For instance, they find a girl who had just fallen out of a box in their
of dirt.
Yeah, and they're wondering where she came from.
She has no blood.
But there's this box up here that she just fell out of, so that's where she was in.
Right.
Yeah.
Where did she come from? One of the 5 fucking weird ass boxes with the weird ass signature.
And in the beginning of this movie, they're loading these crates and they have the symbol on it, Dracula's symbol. And then the people that brought the crates on are warning everybody about.
Don't go on the boat.
And they're like, we're not coming on this boat after they put on these mysterious boxes. So when mysterious shit starts happening on your boat, what would be the first thing you fucking think about?
Exactly.
To check out.
It would be like, oh, hey, remember those guys that were like, we're not getting on that boat because there's bad things are going to happen.
Check out those fucking boxes.
You would check out the boxes. And then when you realize that, that thing can be killed by sunlight, you search for the thing in the daylight.
Yeah.
You don't wait at night.
Well, and then people start dying at night, and then they're trying to figure it out. And the crazy thing is every single person like goes about their job during the day. Like they didn't ever like, okay, just like have like a basic crew of 2 or 3 people run the ship, make sure we don't like fucking
But there's something on our
crash.
boat that we need to be able to see to find.
And we should go look for this. And then what the crazy part is, mini spoiler, not really. They find Dracula's coffin. They see it and they do nothing about it. They don't even go back there to try and kill him or anything.
Nothing. They don't open it in the daytime after they realize that they could probably get killed by the light. None of this happens.
Yeah.
And it was so frustrating because this could have been such a cool fucking movie.
It is. It's a really good concept.
It was a great concept, and I was really excited because we need some really cool fucking vampire movies again.
Yeah.
As much as, like the Twilight things have a small place in my heart, they're not vampires, and we had that small moment of what the fuck are these vampires?
Yeah.
But we need real badass vampires.
We do.
And I was like, oh, sweet, vampire on a boat. We're gonna save it for because I have great hopes. I was so frustrated by this movie.
Well, then I think for the most part, the Dracula was CGI.
Yeah.
And that was kind of disappointing. I think maybe there were a couple of practical effects, but there was a lot of CGI going on. And then also, you don't really get Dracula. You just get a creature because he doesn't, I think he might mumble a few words, but in this whole movie, spoiler alert, he's just a
creature.
He's just a creature. And the Dracula I has swagger. So there's a different version of the script that I'd write where he's he's like, charming the crew, where maybe he's on board as a human and he's going around and sneaking around and fucking things up and eating people. And that could be I don't know. It's just me like spitballing, but that could be a fun whodunit. One of these people on this fucking boat is Dracula.
Right.
Who the fuck is it?
Something.
Yeah.
It just was like, what the... It was every time like, this could be... No. It was the most... It was so...
It was just so frustrating to watch all of your characters like just not do anything. Yeah.
It was... Yeah. I think I did more yelling at that TV than...
So yeah, that was our number 2 worst film of the year. All right. Here we go.
You're right. Number 1.
Number 1, our worst film of 2023 is, to no surprise to anybody, The Exorcist Believer, directed by David Gordon Green.
Fuck that movie.
Yeah.
Also, David Gordon Green. Here. If you're gonna take a break for a while and you're gonna go back to comedy, and then if you ever decide to dip your toe back into horror, you're gonna do horror comedy, and you're not gonna touch any of the franchises that we love so much. You're gonna stay the fuck away from it because this movie was trash.
You heard her. If you're gonna do horror again, do a horror comedy and make it original.
Make it original and do a horror comedy.
This movie was just boring. We did a review recently about this, and I'm not the biggest Exorcist fan, but I respect the first one for sure. Exorcist 3 is really good. I've seen all of them. But I could only imagine if you're a fan of the first one to just be utterly disappointed with this because it is so boring. It is so bland. And just the idea of, why Skinamarink is like at 5 and why this is at 1 is because Skinamarink had zero money, did something original, and made it, right? David Gordon Green has all of the resources probably that he could want after making his Halloween trilogy. No matter what people think about it, it did make money. Diminishing returns, but it did make money. So the fact that you have all these resources and you bring back legacy characters and you could probably almost do whatever you want, I would imagine this is what you give people. It's just kind of a slap in the face.
It truly is.
Like just to filmmakers, I hate this movie. I hate this on so many levels. I do.
Agreed. It was another one of those frustrating movies too, because we're like, okay, we got all the people coming in for this exorcism. This could be redeeming. And then the most lackluster fucking exorcism I've ever fucking watched, and
super anticlimactic.
It was so anticlimactic.
So
it was
bad.
Just bad. There was so many missed opportunities in this movie. So many missed opportunities. The one little girl walks into a church. Does she levitate? Does blood come flying? Like, there's so many things you could have done with that, and you did not. Like, it was very nothing. And like, it was, again, the last two were just so frustrating because there was so many, like, it could,
Yeah.
and then
Well, it just, for me, it seemed like every decision just was the wrong one.
wrong decision.
Like the way it was directed, the way the cinematography I thought was wrong.
My God, there's so
I think
many
the
choices.
acting choices were not the right ones. Like the choice for the main character, your main protagonist, to pretty much just play a monotone character for the most part was really strange. Yeah, the whole ending, the whole how someone gets exercised is pretty fucking ridiculous. Like it was a huge opportunity. There's so many people around. Yeah, like it's just, oh.
It was so, so happy we didn't see that in the theater because I would have been pissed.
Yeah, and I mean, the entire world pretty much, I would imagine, shares our sentiment because he's not doing the next one, and
Thank
they
God.
removed Exorcist, I think it was called The Deceiver, from their slate, and they say they're looking for another director. My prediction is that they don't make any more.
They shelve it.
That they don't continue with this
no.
trilogy. That they just walk away from it, do something cooler.
He didn't deliver. He didn't.
Yeah.
He fell so fucking hard on his face in this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, go back to comedy.
Yeah.
In a couple of years, give me a unique and original horror comedy because you're good at comedy.
Yeah, like I said in our review, like Pineapple Express, The Sitter, great fucking films.
Yeah,
he's done so many. Joe, I love Joe. Joe's awesome. Nicolas Cage, it's really good. He's done some good stuff. He's really funny. His series, Vice Principals, fucking hilarious.
Right.
He's good. He's good at doing certain things for sure. And maybe this is a test for him professionally to be like, okay, what am I good at? What am I not good at?
You're not good at horror. Not straight horror, anyways.
Yeah.
Give me horror comedy, but not straight horror.
Right? I would put Danny McBride and James Franco in there and just do a horror comedy. Come on. Just you want to. You want Danny McBride running around fighting a leprechaun or something. Just do it.
Yeah, doing something funny horror.
Yeah.
But don't ever fucking touch this franchise again. Don't ever just stop. Just stay away from straight horror.
Yeah,
You're not good at it. Close the door. Yeah. Check off your list. Can't do it.
So worst film of the year, Exorcist Believer.
Yes.
Which was kind of one that we were predicting. We were predicting that was going to be down there for sure. So we're going to get into a few other things. We're going to do the best actor, best actress, and best director of the year in
All right.
horror films. So
this is, again, super surprising. And we did go back and forth with this.
We did.
For the actor.
We did quite a bit, actually.
And so we chose Tobin Bell from Saw 10.
Saw 10. I was surprised that you landed on that, but I think, he did really amazing. I think that, for me personally, I think this is the best performance he has ever given, like in his acting career that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he's 80 years old, and at 80, you deliver the performance of a lifetime so far, that is crazy to me.
It is.
That is crazy to be in any kind of industry, and at the age of 80, that's when you do the thing. Mm-hmm. You're not in your prime.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly. And and surprisingly, I was like, okay, let's do Tobin Bell. Because for the fact that he made me like the movie.
Yeah.
And I really wasn't going to like it. I was like hard set on me, like, fuck Saw movies. Fuck all of you.
Right.
He brought heart to it. I really enjoyed it. He gave a stellar performance.
We'll edit that out.
It was very...
I was just looking at the camera thing. We're good. We're good to go. Okay.
So, yeah, that was I was very surprised. And
yeah, no, he was good. He was great. I'm looking forward to Saw 11. I really hope that they take everything that's good about Saw 10 and they continue it with 11 and they don't, fuck it up.
Yeah.
He did a really good job. God, he's one person that I would love to meet at a horror convention.
That would be cool.
Yeah, definitely. And our actor that had running up for that was actually, we were going back and forth between him and Russell Crowe from The Pope's Exorcist, because The Pope's Exorcist was actually really good too. It didn't make our top, but what Russell Crowe did in The Pope's Exorcist was he brought a good script and he elevated it by his performance. He
Agreed.
is so fun in that role. You could tell he was having fun. He brought certain quirks to that character.
An Exorcist movie that was actually fucking good with a true exorcism.
Oh, yeah. Okay, going off on a little thing here, the Pope's Exorcist is like 20 times better than The Exorcist Believer. So if you want to see an exorcism type movie that's done
Check
good,
that one out.
watch Pope's Exorcist. I think you'd be pleasantly
That one is-
surprised or at least entertained by what Russell Crowe's doing.
That's like an honorable mention for us, the Pope's
Definitely.
Exorcist, because that was a really fun movie.
Yeah.
All right. So our favorite actress
Actress?
this year in the horror was Alyssa Sutherland, who played Ellie on Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah. She was amazing in that role. I think she played the human version really well, and then when she turned evil, that was creepy as shit.
She was creepy.
She was good all around in the physicality of her performance, and just her acting in general. She was awesome in that. I think she was the standout this year.
Yeah, I agree. And then runner-up for that would be her co-star.
Yeah.
They both, as much as that movie didn't make our list, they both gave really stellar performances, I think.
For sure, definitely. Yeah, so she was really good. I'd like to see her stay in horror and do more horror stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And our favorite director is Eli Roth for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Because, hello.
Yeah, because it is best movie of the year, and you could just tell he had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, just see the movie. You'll know why he's best director.
Agreed.
Definitely. What were some of your favorite kills this year?
I really liked the ending of Scream 6.
Yeah, me too. I think we probably have the same one.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, when Melissa is whenever they kill the main killer, that whole bit is so cool.
Like she channeled her inner dad, her inner Billy Loomis.
When she channels Billy, that's the best. That's one of my favorites of the year for sure. I think two of my other favorites come from Thanksgiving. Tim Dillon, a really funny comedian, actually has a small role in Thanksgiving. And spoiler alert, he gets killed. His is a lot of fun. It's a head pop off with the cord. There's a kill in there that's an accidental one. That's my favorite, where I think a log or something goes through someone crashing.
Oh,
like
yes.
Like the killer didn't do it.
Yeah.
But
it was during the parade.
What made it for me is they crashed and the driver dies, and then there's kids in the back. They get hit with blood,
and they're just
and they're just like ah. But I know, just from being a director myself, that they had a lot of fun with that. Okay, let's just throw blood on the kids.
Yeah,
it probably wasn't in what they were doing. Let's just throw blood on the kids and make them scream. This will be great. If we don't use it, we don't use it.
Yeah, that
was really fun.
I also enjoyed their first kill, the dumpster in Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah,
that one.
That was good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed. You can't really talk about it without saying what it is, but I enjoyed the most shocking kill in When Evil Lurks, the one that you went when I watched with you. That was really well done, and that wasn't a fun kill. That was a oh god kill.
And
that was
came out of nowhere.
That was
you
guttural,
were holy shit,
gut wrenching kill. That was oh fuck, this movie's not fucking around, is it? So those are my favorite kills.
What also VHS 85 I want to mention because I
do some special nods for some films.
Some special nod because the first little segment of that, the gore is fucking stellar.
The first segment of when they're out on the lake.
When they're out on the lake.
That was the best part of the whole film.
That was the best part of the whole film, and it was stellar.
It was really good.
The kills, but and just her jaws hanging off. It was just the special effects in that beginning part of that was fucking amazing. Yeah,
it's one of my I think there's maybe 2 VHS movies I haven't seen, but this one's one of my favorites. The reason I didn't put it up higher on my list is because there was I didn't like about half of them. But that one and the kind of the one that ties it up is really good, and I think the main through is pretty decent, and all the rest of them I didn't really dig as much. I think the the one that starts with the lake, I think that's an interesting concept to actually have fleshed out into
A full movie.
a full movie
Yeah.
on its own.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Because I kept wanting to go back to it when I was watching that movie. I'm like, well, just go back. I want to see what this is. This is a thing that's got me.
Yeah, because I
got
was
me
like,
into it.
holy shit!
Yeah.
Just the special effects in that first part alone
good.
was so good.
VHS 85, that's a good one. I have a special nod. Well, we've talked about Pope's Exorcists. That's really good. But Cobweb was really nice.
That was good. That was fun. That was a good. That was another family.
Lizzie Kaplan, is that her name?
Yes.
And then the dude from
The Boys.
Yeah.
Anthony Starr.
I think so.
Starr?
Yeah. So that's another one, of a kind of a family in a house, and there's a supernatural thing going on. And this one was cool because it was like more Halloween themed. It was like a whole like pumpkin patch in the backyard. It was fun.
It was creepy.
It was fun and creepy. The third act got kind of weird. Almost to where I couldn't tell you exactly the beats of what it was.
Right.
It's probably why it didn't make it as like a runner-up for like, well, what should be our number 5? Boogeyman, I could tell you beat for beat like what was happening.
Right.
I truly couldn't tell you exactly what the third act of Cobweb was.
Right.
Like, I think I have an idea, but I can't quite remember.
It was a little, yeah.
It was like,
I agree.
it was because it was going in like, it could go into so many different directions, and then it didn't like land on like something hard.
Right.
It landed on like, okay, well, maybe it's going in more directions.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it was a little muddled.
Yeah.
At the end.
But the
was still
overall
creepy.
atmosphere and experience was pretty fun.
It was.
It was a good Halloween season watch if you haven't seen it. If you're looking for something to pop in on Halloween.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. Another thing to talk about is the film Talk to Me. Did we do a review? We did do a review on this.
We went right after, yeah.
And so this one is, it makes a lot of top lists this year, and I see this being like number 1 on quite a bit. I don't see that. It's not a bad movie, but I just think it's pretty average.
Yeah, I think for us it was just a middle of the road. It was a Ouija board movie with a hand.
It was another possession movie. We got a lot of those this year. But I do think that The Pope's Exorcist, if you're looking at possession films, is far more entertaining. I thought it was way more well done. I'm probably in the minority on that, but Talk to Me just was pretty average. Like, they have like their shocking moment. I think When Evil Lurks shares something similar, but that shocking moment in When Evil Lurks
way better.
is way, 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 way cooler.
Way cooler. Way more impactful too.
Yeah. And like I said, like if you just replace the hand with a Ouija board, it's a Ouija board film. It's your basic possession film. And I'd have to watch it again, but I'm not seeing why people are putting it in the top.
Right.
I have blinders on for some reason. I can't see it. Can you?
No, because I mean, other people wanted Skin ring too. So we were
right?
just in our little world of horror. That's just not a top one for us.
Yeah. How about horror television? Is there anything that you watched in horror television this year?
I mean, The Last of Us.
Last of Us was amazing.
That was
I think it
fucking
just
amazing.
got a shit ton of awards too at Golden Globes.
I'm not generally a zombie connoisseur.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
And that one was really good. And I really liked the zombie monsters too. Like, they're really cool, and how that whole thing. And I never played the game because I don't do video games, and so I don't have that frame of reference. So just as a watcher, not having played the video games, it was really cool.
Yeah.
And like an episode where it was like one of the best television episodes I've ever seen.
Oh,
just
he got an Emmy for or Golden Globe for that. Yeah,
just all around such a great episode, and the special effects and the most importantly the relationship between the two are just like
I mean, that just
so good.
this goes to show you it's like the heart of anything is like the relationships, right? It's the relationship between Pedro and what's her name? I forget, the actress.
Oh, Ellie. Well, Ellie's
the characters. Yeah, Ellie and Joel. Their relationship is so much fun, and that's like what keeps you watching for sure. God, well, I saw I don't think you watched it, but Follow the House at Usher was really good. Yeah, really well done. And this is an interesting fact. I didn't even know that they shot, I think, the majority of it. Frank Langella played the role. He played like the patriarch of the family.
Really?
But then there was claims on set that he was not being cool.
Ooh.
So he got fired.
And then they reshot.
And they reshot it with, I'm spacing his name, but he did fucking phenomenal. And I was surprised that he didn't take home an Emmy for that role because he was outstanding. Yeah, that was a good one too. What else did I see? I just watched Red Rose. I know that like premiered BBC like a couple years ago, but it just came to Netflix this year. That was a lot of fun. It's more along the lines of a thriller mystery with horror elements, but yeah, you should check that out.
I will.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Anything else you'd like to wrap up for 2023? Like were you disappointed in some things that you thought?
Yes. Speaking of, like, I was expecting Evil Dead Rise to be number 1 or number 2 before seeing trailers or anything. It's an Evil Dead movie. It's in my head. It was like Evil Dead Rise and Scream 6 are going to be fighting for the number 1 spot.
Right.
We saw Evil Dead in the theater. I saw it with my brother. And the sound was cranked up way too loud in there. It was fucking with her. But I've seen it since, and it wasn't just that. It's like it's still a good movie. It's probably my least favorite. I think Sean has said this too. He's on the I don't know if he said it on the podcast, but my least favorite Evil Dead film probably. I'd have to watch them all again, but yeah, it was okay. I mean, the performances are really good, definitely. Both the girls give a great performance, but it was missing the Evil Dead magic. I guess it's kind of what I felt. Yeah, and it didn't make it on the list. I was not expecting Saw 10 to be better than Evil Dead Rise.
Right?
I wouldn't have bet any money on that at all. At all.
Right.
In every universe, in every timeline that Doctor Strange is going through, it's like that 1 out of a billion that we're in that timeline.
I know.
We're in that
Saw
one
10 is
that
in our
Saw,
top 5.
that
What
Saw,
the fuck?
Saw 10 is better than fucking Evil Dead Rise. We're in that timeline. That's nuts.
That is nuts.
Yeah, so that was probably like the biggest thing is Evil Dead Rise not being in the top and then Saw 10 being in the top.
Yeah. I mean,
what about for you?
I just Saw all around was surprising for me that I liked that I was like, yeah, let's pick Tobin Bell first and like, oh, let's put it on the top. Like, because I fucking hate those, like the first one, and then they ruined the first one by everything that came before, like
everything
after
else.
it.
Yes.
So it was like, ugh, not another one. But I really enjoyed it, so that was my big.
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, what are you looking forward to in 2024? I know that the main thing I'm looking forward to, and I think it's coming out this year, is the Crystal Lake series on Peacock.
Right.
Jason Bourne. I don't know much about it. I know that rights are weird, that you can make certain things on streaming, but you can't make Friday the 13th films in the theater yet. But I'm looking forward to see what they do with Crystal Lake.
What they do with it and how that
And
happens.
I would love us to do, depending on how it, like an episode by episode review with a podcast or just a whole thing review on it for sure.
Yeah. I'm down for that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the one trailer that we watched yesterday with the Abigail.
Yeah, the directors of Ready or Not and Scream 5.
Right.
And Scream 6.
I enjoy what they do.
Yeah, that looks really fun.
It looks a lot of fun. You get Melissa from Scream.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to start getting some cool vampire movies again.
I hope so.
And I'm really excited about that. And it looks fun and it looks creepy and it's a little girl too. So that I think adds a little creepy fun to it. So
it's just the whole, like, they're just locked in there with a vampire.
Yeah.
And the tables are turned, and I think that's hilarious. It's interesting looking at like the lineup for next year. Like, we're not getting our flagship franchises. Like, we're not getting another Halloween or a Nightmare on Elm Street or stuff like that. The ones that we are getting are we're getting another Saw movie. We're getting an Omen movie. So we're getting like these smaller franchises. We're getting a Witchboard remake, which I'm curious about.
Right.
I got 2 Witchboard tattoos.
Right.
I love Witchboard 1 and 2 for sure. Terrifier 3.
Oh, I am excited about that.
I'm hoping will be pretty cool. I'm hoping that we get a more coherent story, a more down-to-earth story than 2. And that's about it.
Yeah.
That's like, I'm not going to say I hope they tone down the gore because there's no way.
There's
That's
no
what people
way.
love about them.
Yes, there's no way, and you can't do that with them. But
I'm
if
gonna
we
predict-
maybe perhaps get a Christmas movie.
Yeah, so Terrifier 3. I'm going to throw out a
excited.
Terrifier 3 prediction because it takes place on Christmas. He wears Santa. I think he's going to skin Santa alive and wear his skin flesh.
I am so here for that. You know, I really am trying to amass a collection of fun horror Christmas movies that I can enjoy because it's not generally my favorite holiday. So if I can get some fun, some really fun Christmas horror movies that I can watch, that'd be happy.
Alien Romulus, I'm curious about because the director is great. Alvarez, who he directed the first Evil Dead remake, which I think is a masterpiece.
Oh,
and then he did Don't Speak, which I think is really great with claustrophobia and tension. So the fact that he can do claustrophobia and tension, and he can do this extreme kind of gore rock and roll. If you can combine those two elements into an Alien film, you got one of the best horror films of the year if you can pull it off.
If you can do it right, yeah.
Yeah. Another one that I forget that's coming out is Maxine, the third one from X and Pearl. So that's set in the 80s, porn.
I'm excited about that. One of my
two things I love: 80s and porn. It's great.
Well, and she's just killer, anyways. Just that whole series, I think, is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite singers, Halsey, is in that movie as an actress. So I'm excited to see her, do her acting jobs.
And Kevin Bacon is in it, and I think this is a great opportunity. And he hasn't done it. I think he's only done it once. If he's in a horror movie, and it's in the 80s, and we got porn, he can show his dick again.
Yes,
because she shows dick in Wild Things. So
we have to wait like 30 years. So we're gonna get it.
I'm hoping.
You know how I feel,
Mr. Bacon.
You know how I feel.
Show us your cock again.
It needs to be more balanced. We get boobs all the time. I want to see people's cocks. Come on.
Well,
button cocks.
we did see. Didn't we see a dick in? Sorry, I'm choking on dick. Didn't we see Dick in X? Kid Cudi, is that who was in there? Didn't we see his dick or at least a shadowy cock?
We did, yeah.
Yeah. And I can't remember if we saw Dick and Pearl. I don't think we did.
No.
But I'm hoping for lots of dicks and lots of tits in Maxine. I predict we're going to have a hard time picking our favorites next year. I think we're going to get some surprises. I think Maxine, I think Terrifier 3, I think Alien are going to give us a run for our money.
Yeah.
Ones that probably going to suck next year, Winnie the Pooh 2.
I know Tigger comes in this one.
And we're Tigger comes.
Tigger comes.
Gross. Tigger comes in this one. Why not?
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Okay, that just derailed me. Okay, Smile 2 is slated for next year.
Oh, your favorite.
You liked it.
I loved it.
I hated it.
You hated it. So that'll be a fun one.
But you have the guy who plays the cop as the main character coming back, so yeah. Yeah. Anything else coming up next year you're looking forward to?
No, I think I covered it.
Yeah, we dragging this podcast on. All right, vodka's kicking in now.
All right, guys.
Well, hang on. Just another reminder of our giveaway. If you would like to win shirts and shit,
and
art and stuff, how it works is you have to comment on this YouTube video what your favorite or your least favorite or both horror film of 2023 was. And we need 10 comments from 10 different people within 24 hours of this video to be released for the contest to be activated.
Yes.
So I need 10 comments.
Come on, guys. We know that you listen.
And then I will pick someone at random and they will get it.
And they will get fun stuff.
Yep. As long as you live in the United States and not Alaska or Hawaii.
Those are technically part of the United
I'm not
States.
paying to ship that shit. Sorry, Alaska and Hawaii. I'm sure you get fucked out of a lot of
eventually we'll be
contests.
so big we'll be able to send you all sorts of stuff all over the globe. So it'll be fine.
For sure.
Yeah.
So on that note, all right, Bloody Marys are dead.
And so are we.
That was 2023.
Yeah. Let us know what you think. drop us some notes in the comments.
Tigger come.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.